Good evening, everybody. I am Tatum with Guardian Voice of the Missing, and this is our weekly podcast where we'll be covering several cases tonight. I do have quite a few tonight to share with you guys. I appreciate all of you guys joining and showing support for the loved ones and the family. Also, I am going to share a resource that I shared today on the platform for you guys as well and discuss that. Let me know that you're here. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything, please feel free to share those with everyone and we will go ahead and get started. Someone said, "Good evening, Tatum and everyone." Hi, Allison. How are you doing? Not for sure who the first one was, but thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first case, which is Cherish Brooke Randy. She is missing out of Flowery Branch, Georgia on April 20th of 2022. She was 38 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 40, 5'7" to 5'8", 180 to 195 pounds. She has blonde strawberry hair and hazel eyes. There's very little information out there on her case. There have been searches of the area. However, Cherish has not been located. If you have any information regarding Cherish's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Hall County, Georgia Sheriff's Office at 677-833-7721. That is one thing that is really sad. There's a lot of cases out there. There's not a whole lot of information on. So if anybody is a family or a friend or anything that has more information on some of these cases, please feel free to reach out so we can get that information out there. This next case is Aslan Allen Fender. She is missing out of Eugene, Oregon on December 5th of 2022. She is 36 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 37, 5'8", 130 to 180 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She does have her ears pierced and light scarring on the inside of her elbow area. She does have tattoos, as you can see in these pictures. On her upper back is that large angel wing that says "My Angels Above the Wings," Gabriella and Amaya under the left wing, and Quina Lewis under the right wing. Her left shoulder/upper arm has a large scroll with 7 lines of cursive script within the scroll. Left lower inside arm has that infinity type symbol. And the right lower arm has Bruna Memora in black text. She is known to live a transient in Eugene or Springfield, Oregon. Her family has not had contact with her and are concerned for her safety and welfare. If you have any information on Aslan's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Eugene, Oregon Police Department at 541-682-5111. I will let you guys know that someone did contact me on her and believes that they have seen her and may know her whereabouts, and they were contacting law enforcement. So that's always really good news to hear. So hopefully law enforcement will be able to get a hold of her and see what is going on and get her found. Thank you, you guys, for everybody sharing that is the podcast. I really do appreciate it. It definitely can help get these cases out. A lot of these cases are not really known. I've never really seen some of them that I've came across. So it's always really good to share. That's one thing that I'm getting ready to post on the platform is for everybody, please share these flyers and get them out. You never know who may have some information or know the whereabouts of somebody, and we can get them hopefully located and back to their loved ones. This next case is Amanda Poole. She's missing out of Memphis, Tennessee on October 5th of 2015. She was 16 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 25. 5'7", 150 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does have her ears pierced. She was last seen wearing a white shirt and khaki pants in the 2300 block of Cliffdale Cove in Memphis, Tennessee, heading to the bus stop to go to school. She never arrived and has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding Amanda's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Memphis, Tennessee Police Department at 901-636-3700. Next, we have Chester Andrew Mazar. He is missing out of Porter, Texas on August 4th of 2023. He is 76 years old, 5'7" to 5'9", 150 to 170 pounds, gray hair and blue eyes. There's very little information regarding his case. If you have any information regarding Chester's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Montgomery County, Texas Sheriff's Office at 936-760-5800. And hopefully someone out there has information. The next case is another case out of Tennessee. David LaShawn Carver, he's missing out of Memphis. February 11th of 2023, he's 38 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 39. 6'2", 170 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. He does have multiple tattoos on his arm, calf, knee, and both shoulders. If there is any family or anybody out there that may have pictures of those tattoos, please contact me so we can get those on his flyers. He was last seen on camera jumping off a bridge located at the I-55 crossing in the Mississippi River. He has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding David's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Memphis, Tennessee Police Department at 901-636-3700. I know a lot of times when we hear about individuals jumping off of bridges and stuff like that, a lot of people just presume that they aren't alive anymore. That's not always the case. You just never know if that individual is still alive. So I really do think it's important, even if you hear that someone's went into the water or anything like that, I still think that there can be hope that that individual is still alive. So I do think these cases are important to cover, and I think that it is important to get that information out there in the media. Also, you know, if there's anybody in there that is a local, like a rescue or somebody that does diving or something, you know, maybe you could offer your assistance or help find assistance in those cases to help law enforcement to be able to go into the water. Something we need to realize is that a lot of law enforcement don't have the means to be able to get into the rivers and dive and all that stuff. So that's why it's important. There are a lot of really good agencies out there that do water searches and stuff. And I think it's important, you know, to get these cases out there or contact some of these agencies and see if they're able to get into the water and hopefully locate people. This next case is Diana Lynn Miller. She is missing out of Emporia, Pennsylvania on June 20th, 1986. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 61, 5'4", 125 pounds. She has blonde strawberry hair and blue eyes. She does have a tattoo across her fingers that says F in Frank, T is Tom, W is in water, and may also have the same letters on her right forearm. Diana may use the following names: Diana Lynn Morton or Diana Lynn Zubak. She was last seen wearing a white shirt and blue jeans when she dropped off her 4-year-old daughter with a relative on June 16th of 1986. She believed to be heading to the annual Cinemahagan snake hunt, which was around 20 miles away. It is reported that she had went to a party near the snake hunt where members of a motorcycle gang periodically camped. She was not seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding Diana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Emporium, Pennsylvania Police Department at 814-486-3384. This next case is Darcy Ann Sanchez. She is missing out of Haleyville, Oklahoma on April 25th of 2023. She was 48 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 49. 5'7", 155 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a long gray cardigan, purplish colored shirt, and dark colored pants. She drives a blue 2010 Ford F-150 pickup with Oklahoma license plate. J as in John, Q as in Quick, M as in Mary 496, which expired in 2023. However, that vehicle has been recovered. There's very little information on Darcy's disappearance. If you have any information regarding Darcy's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Pittsburgh County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office at 918-423-5600. 5858. This next case I came across today, and I really thought some of the information, like I'm going to put on the flyer, there's two different stories, kind of. I'm not really for sure. One was according to NamUs, one was some other resources and news press on him. This is Dominic Tashawn Holly Grisham. He is missing out of Rochester, New York, February 12th of 2009. He was 16 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 31, 5'9", 160 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. There is the picture of him and then an age progression of him as well. He may go by the name Dom. He does have both of his ears pierced. He was last seen wearing a gray hoodie and black Jordans at his home. It is reported that he had returned home after a hockey game and received a phone call and left his home. According to NamUs, he had an argument with a loved one and left. He has never been seen or heard from since. There is not a lot of information out on his case. If you have any information regarding Dominic's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Rochester, New York Police Department at 585-428-6595. This next case I'm going to continue sharing until Caitlin Woolery is found. She is missing out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania on November 23rd of 2023. She is 17 years old, 5'3", 115 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She was wearing that beaded necklace with the name Blake on it and the cross necklace as well. She may go by Bug or Little Bit. She was last seen wearing a black hoodie, Crocs, and jeans around 1:30 p.m. on November 23rd of 2023 when she went for a walk around the block in the area of Oakland Avenue by Uniontown High School in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. She had her cell phone with her, and it last pinged about 10 blocks away from the Potter's Barn around 11:15 on November 26th of 2023. Since then, it has been off and unable to ping that location. She has not been active on social media and has not been in contact with friends or loved ones, which is out of character for her. Her loved ones are concerned for her safety and well-being. It is believed that she is probably still in the Uniontown, Pennsylvania area. So if there's anybody that has information regarding Caitlin's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call 911 or Uniontown, Pennsylvania Police Department at 724-430-2929. There is concern for her safety and her well-being. This next case is Elizabeth Ann Coots. She is missing out of DeForest, Wisconsin on July 27th of 2000. She was 30 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 53. 5'11", 110 pounds, black hair and green eyes. She does have a scar on her forehead. Her nickname is Beth. She was last seen wearing a white t-shirt with the image of Winnie the Pooh on the front, denim shorts with plaid or multicolored pockets, white socks, brown tan ankle boots, and a gold ring with a diamond and a Mickey Mouse watch. She was last seen leaving work at Dominco Plastics in DeForest, Wisconsin at 3:15 p.m. on July 27th, 2000 in a green Jeep Cherokee with a license plate Distis that she had borrowed. It was later found parked on a parking ramp in the Matero Hospital in downtown Madison. She has never been seen or heard from again, despite extensive searches of that area. At the time of her disappearance, her relationship with her husband, Daniel Coots, who is pictured here, was deteriorating at the time, and they were separated. She was living at the time with her mother outside of Pinot, Wisconsin, with her children and seeing another man. Daniel had been upset about the breakup and had been making threats. The day she went missing, she had told her mother to call the police if she did not arrive home within 30 minutes of leaving work. Daniel was picked up by the police at 11 p.m. that day walking down the road wet without shoes or a shirt. He said he had left his shoes in the Jeep and was walking home, which was about 30 miles away. He had said that they had rode around that day discussing their failed marriage on the day of her disappearance, and she had dropped him off in Madison, Wisconsin. He was arrested later. Traces of Elizabeth's blood was found on his watch and in the storage area of the Jeep. Fingerprints were wiped clean on the inside. However, Daniel's fingerprints were on the exterior. Daniel had been charged with misdemeanor counts of stalking his wife and obstructing an officer. A month later, he was charged with Elizabeth's murder and convicted 5 months after her disappearance. He is serving a life sentence and maintains his innocence. She has never been located. If you have any information regarding Elizabeth's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Columbia County, Wisconsin's Sheriff's Office at 608 742 4166. I too feel like these cases, like Elizabeth, is even though somebody may be charged with murder or anything like that, they still are going to remain missing until they are found. I still think these cases are very important to get out there, especially for the family and their loved ones, to know what has happened to their loved one. So please, everybody, if you can, share these cases that, are several years old, you just never know who may have information. Next, I'm going to share what I shared on Facebook. This was shared and it's been shared on several platforms today. This is the NamUs Regional Program Specialist list. So, we talk a lot about NamUs. NamUs is a database that has missing persons, unidentified, unclaimed individuals. So these have a lot of cases in there. I think there's close to now about 25,000 missing that are in this. So this map, I think, is very important because this kind of breaks it up, the United States, of what region program specialists you need to contact. So it has like the region's contact person, it has their email, and it has their phone number. If you're familiar with NamUs and you've ever been in NamUs, each case has a person of contact in the NamUs database as well. You are always welcome to contact them if you feel like you may have information. You can contact them as well. They're another resource to contact. Also, if you anything with unidentified remains, you can contact them if you think that could possibly be your loved one or you do want your loved one tested. If you have an account with NamUs, you are actually able to see if there have been any comparisons as well. Again, I really think NamUs is a good database for individuals and families to look at and to see. Also, you do have the ability to put somebody in there. However, will still have to be approved by law enforcement. But this is kind of where these program specialists come in too as well. I have talked to several of the program specialists on individual cases, submitted information. Possibly, I've went through and looked at remains where there's possibility they could be somebody that I've covered or anything like that. And then they kind of take it from there to get that. Also, to tell you if there's any DNA that is available as well. So I have put this out on both of the Guardian pages. They are both in the resource folders. Many of you, if you have not really been out to my Facebook and everything, I do have individual folders for the states, but I also have folders for resources out there that you can go out there and see different resources that are out there that could be helpful for you guys. Someone said hello again. Just want to say thank you again for helping us when Alan was missing. Oh, hi, Debbie. How are you? I'm really glad to hear that Alan is doing good. For many of you may know, Alan was the nurse that went missing out in California, and he did get located. I believe it was in a few weeks. He was located and everything. So now he is back home with his loved ones and doing well. I'm really, really happy to hear that, that he is still doing well and is back home. I know his flyer really went, a lot of people looked for him. So I'm really, really happy that had a happy ending. But again, out there with NamUs, you guys feel free to check it out. Use those resources, contact those individuals if you think there's a possibility that your loved one's out there, and then they should be able to help you. Like if you want to put DNA or anything like that, they're just going to be a good resource to help get information out there and everything. And I will tell you, just like all databases, not all the information could be current, but I will tell you, it seems in the last at least 6 months to last year, a lot more law enforcement are using the NamUs database, and they are really getting information out there as well. You will see a lot of times when I post flyers, especially in the folders. I do have the NamUs link to the cases in there. I am working on trying to get all of them in there. For you guys, if you ever want to like check out what's in NamUs as well. But I definitely really would want to stress to you, if you do have a missing loved one, I would definitely push law enforcement to put in the NamUs database as well if they're not doing it, because there's a lot of advocates that go out there and look at those and get information out for you guys as well. So I do think NamUs is a really, really good resource out there to getting your loved ones cases looked at as well. This next case is Forrest Boren Jr. He is missing out of Santa Isabel, California on October 16th of 2020. He was 50 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 53. 5'10", 220 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He does wear glasses. He may go by Oz or Osen Boren. He is enrolled in the Iple Nation of Santa Isabel. Forrest was last seen at his residence on the Iple Nation Santa Isabel Reservation on October 16th, 2020. He has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information regarding Forrest's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the San Diego County, California Sheriff's Office at 858-565-5200. All of these pictures I thought were really important to share with you guys, because it's definitely, he has different looks. And I just thought that was important to make sure to get those out there for you guys to see some of the different looks that he does have. This next case is Gino Bonnet Taylor. He is missing out of Fremont, California, November 4th of 2023. He is 34 years old, 5'10", 180 to 200 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He had moved to from Florida to California and was living with a friend at the extended stay until he got situated. When he arrived, he had a subcontract job with Amazon, however, was only employed a week and then did not show up for work the next 3 weeks leading up to November 4th of 2023. He was last seen walking away from that extended stay, leaving his personal belongings behind. If you have any information regarding Gino's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Fremont, California Police Department at 510-790-6800. Gregory Glenn Robinson. He is missing out of Phoenix, Arizona on May 12, 2015. He was 47 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 56, 5'9", 250 pounds, gray hair and brown eyes. There's very little information on his case. If you have information regarding Gregory's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Phoenix, Arizona Police Department at 602-262-6151. Hunter Benjamin Chenault. He is missing out of San Antonio, Texas on December 1st of 2022. He was 20 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 21, between 5'8" and 5'10", 120 to 130 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. Hunter was last seen wearing a mustard colored jacket, dark gray sweatpants, and black slides in the 3100 block of Fall Crest Drive in San Antonio, Texas. There's very little information on his case. If you have any information regarding Hunter's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the San Antonio, Texas Police Department at 210-207-7660. This is Jalen Isaiah Dilday. He is missing out of Fayetteville, North Carolina on May 24th, 2023. He was 18 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 19, 5'11", 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a black hoodie, blue jeans, and red Crocs in the area of Rainer Drive. It was reported that he was going to go hang out with friends. However, he never returned home. If you have any information regarding Jalen's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Fayetteville, North Carolina Police Department at 910-433-1529. This next case is Jose Mateo Sanchez. He is missing out of Zionsville, Indiana on August 11th, 2023. He is 32 years old, 5'10" to 6 foot, 195 to 220 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. There is little information regarding his case. If you have any information regarding Jose's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Rockford, Indiana Police Department at 815-966-2500. This next case is Keith Robert Krager. He is missing out of Anchorage, Alaska on October 11th, 2023. He's 65 years old, 6'1", 190 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have balding hair. He does have full arm sleeves on both arms and ears. There is little information on his case. If you have any information regarding Keith's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Alaska State Troopers at 907-269-5511. I do want to cover a couple things, just stuff that has been brought to me again this week. I want everybody to really think about the position that a lot of these loved ones are in. Having a missing loved one is very emotional. It is a very emotional thing to deal with. With emotion, we don't always think clearly. We don't always think about certain things that may be going on or certain things that might be helpful in a case. But also as advocates, investigators, law enforcement, anything like that, we have to be careful about how our emotion runs in these cases. You know, we care, we want to find people, but the one thing that we have to understand is understanding what the families are going through. You know, they are very emotional. They don't know, are not prepared for their missing loved one or what to do. And we have to be careful about how we react to the families and the things that are said, comments that are made, etc. You know, I've talked to many families out there, you know, they can be very distraught. And I guess basically where I'm getting is we need to be respectful. We need to put ourselves in their shoes, especially if someone is found deceased, or if someone is found not in good condition. Instead of attacking a loved one or saying that they didn't do enough, it's just wrong. You know, we cannot control how people feel. We cannot understand what they're thinking or how they're feeling. But again, like I've said on a lot of podcasts, we should not be attacking families. You know, I have people that come to me and tell me that, you know, well, you know, families hold information or they don't share everything. That could be true. I know that, you know, that's true. But my problem is people that are reaching out to families or judging families or attacking families because they didn't share information, which honestly really is not going to help find that missing person. There are, like I said, there's a lot of information that I know about a lot of cases, and others know about cases that we don't share. There's reasons why that stuff isn't shared. One is to protect the integrity of the case. Two, to protect the safety of family and loved ones and the missing individual. But also the simple fact of it's not probably information it is important to have when, you know, we're covering cases and looking at stuff, but it's really not needed in the public. You know, I had cases in the past where substance abuse was a big issue, and there was people pressing the family and wanting to do news presses or podcasts, and they wanted to really just dig deep down into the dark depths of the individual, and they were upset because the family didn't want to do that. I don't really see why you have to put certain personal information out there. I guess basically the thing is it's every day that, these families are already going through enough. We as advocates, investigators, law enforcement, we have to understand the dynamics of the loved ones of the missing. We need to understand and respect the fact that the families are going through a lot. They may not remember everything at the moment they do that missing persons report. The longer these cases go, the harder it is for the families. I talked to a family member this week, and, their biggest thing is, here came their birthday. They thought, oh my gosh, will she reach out, because they always reached out for their birthday. Well, that phone call never came. This is hard on families. This is hard on the loved ones. And I just feel that people need to be a lot more respectful and not be cruel or make judgments. I do see on a lot of things. I mean, I'm always out for a good discussion. But like I said, please respect the families. Please be kind to the families, because honestly, we don't know everything that goes on. We don't know every bit of the person. I appreciate the loved ones that have reached out that have really let me see who their missing loved one is. In all these cases, I mean, a lot of these people are really great, loving people. You really get to see them. And I don't know. I just feel like, hearing all the time how some people are just not in it for the right reasons and are just cruel, you know, um, and I just hope that that will stop one day. So again, please be respectful. If you really want to help, the best way to help is by sharing these flyers. Like I said on this podcast, there are several family members that are watching the podcast. They're on the podcast. They're out on the social media platforms all across the nation, and they see these things. So, if you know something, say it to the authorities, let them know, but stop attacking the families. That just needs to stop, period. And I will continue to advocate for families despite what people say or what they think. Um, Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I know that people are protective over their loved ones, and I have to respect that, you know. Um, but when they're in an emotional state, I don't think it's right to attack them. I don't think it's right to attack anybody, actually. But I just wanted to put that out there again. For me as an advocate, I try to keep my emotion pretty in check with the cases that I share. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want to harm anyone. I don't want to harm a case. I don't want to harm any individuals. Doesn't mean I don't care, but I have to maintain some sort of professionalism covering these cases. So again, I appreciate everybody out there that shares these cases, that are actively involved. I appreciate the law enforcement, investigators, other advocates. There's some really great advocates out there. Um, but I think we need to definitely think sometimes before we react, because not everybody's trying to attack people. I don't think families intentionally want to come across like they're attacking an individual. A lot of families are very appreciative of the things that people are doing. And just sometimes in life, sometimes things come across a little different. But when emotions are, um, very high, sometimes things come across maybe differently than what was expected. So, with that in mind, please continue to be respectful and support the loved ones that are out there. And just remember, um, how would it be like if that was you with a missing loved one and people were being cruel to you? The following case is a case that I will continue to share. This is Dana Jane Bruce. She's missing out of Sedalia, Missouri, October 4th of 2008. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's now 37. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green hazel eyes. Her hair was shoulder length, wavy with bangs, and it did have red highlights in it. She is blind in her left eye. She has both of her ears pierced once each. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. She has a tattoo on her upper left arm of a teddy bear with wings and a banner that says Dylan. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel on the front, silver lettering, and blue jeans, leaving her children's babysitter's home right around midnight, 11:30 midnight. She had left them with the babysitter so she could go out to the anniversary of Malone's Bar on Main Street. She was with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck that was seen around 11:30, midnight when she had dropped that money off. People had identified the man and they have spoke to him, and he had traveled to Atlanta, Georgia. It is believed that he was a construction worker working in the Sedalia area. However, he was from Atlanta, Georgia. He was never named publicly, but he was a person of interest. He said that he and Dana had parted ways after they had left the bar and had never seen her again. There is information that she had went to an after party at a home, and something had happened there, and this had been reported, and that she had left with several individuals, and unfortunately something had happened at that party, and it was reported that that someone had disposed of her. I do believe that this case is very close to home for Dana. One thing about Dana is that day she had signed a lease for a new home for her and her children. She had left all of her belongings behind. She didn't have a bank account, credit cards, photo, or vehicle. It is unknown if she had her ID on her. She's also a devoted mother. That is one thing about Dana is she was very devoted to her children. She would have never left her children. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. If you have information regarding Dana's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-826-8100, 660-627-7823. I know in Dana's case, there are individuals that are watching the podcast every time I do it. These individuals, I do very much believe, have information on Dana's case, and they need to report the information that they have. I know that a lot of people in this case are concerned about safety and welfare. But the biggest thing is if you're involved, you need to come forward, because there are people talking in Dana's case. And I do believe her case will be solved over time. And every time I've heard that this case is shared, that there's a lot of talk in Sedalia, and people are really getting uncomfortable, but I did promise that I will continue to share Dana's case. I believe that her children deserve a right to know what happened to their mother. Again, like I said, I think it is very, very close to home. And people are talking. So with the statement of the early bird gets the worm, that would probably be very fitting in a lot of these cases. The sooner you start talking, the better. If you know something, say something. You can be anonymous. But again, with Dana Bruce's case, I do believe that is very close to home. I do believe that people know, and there's several people that are involved in her case. I do hope that people will continue to come forward. Okay. Any updates on Erin Mincy? Last update that I know about her is she was located safe, and she is back with loved ones. That is what was reported to me. It's probably been 3 or 4 weeks on her case. But yes, as far as I know, she has been located safe. Her flyer was updated, and the databases were updated. if you want to have any further discussion on Erin, you can feel free to contact me. But yes, last I knew that she was located and she is back in a safe location. Hi, Ellen. How are you? This next case is Carolee. He is missing out of Cameron, Arizona on July 7th, 2023. He's 55 years old. At the time of his disappearance, he is now 56, 5'5", 130 to 135 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He does have a scar on his stomach from a surgery. He is enrolled in Navajo Nation. He was last seen wearing a tan jacket and blue jeans. There's very little information out on his case. If you have any information regarding Carrie's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Navajo Nation Arizona Police Department, Tuba City District at 928-283-3111. This is another case out of Arizona. This is Norman George Lee out of Window Rock, Arizona, April 29th of 2021. He was 59 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 62, 5'9" to 5'10", 250 to 255 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does wear prescription glasses and he has 3 small incision scars on his chest. He does have a tattoo on his left shoulder saying Edith. He is enrolled in Navajo Nation. He was last known wearing blue Wrangler jeans when he left his home. He had later texted his loved one. He has not been seen or heard from since. If anybody has information regarding Norman's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Navajo Nation Police Department at Window Rock District at 928-871-6983. This next case I will continue to share every week. This is Rebecca Demery out of Odessa, Texas on March 1st, 2023. She's 32 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's now 33, 5'5", 190 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. She does wear glasses and has a mole on her left side of her neck. She always wears that gold necklace cross and has both of her ears pierced, but she doesn't normally wear earrings. She does have her tongue pierced, has a history of seizures, and has recently had one while in the hospital. She has a tattoo of a flower on her left arm and a heart design on her right arm. She does go by the name Becca. She last had contact with loved ones on a daily basis. She always spoke to them, and she had last contact with them on February 28th of 2023 when she called to see if she could get a ride from the hospital. Her loved ones were out of town and not able to pick her up, but she was seen leaving the hospital with someone that day. When they text her, her loved ones text her on March 1st. There has been no response for her. She has never been seen or heard from again. She was last seen wearing that long sleeve gray shirt with plaid hem, black pants, and gray athletic shoes with white soles. She is carrying a black and teal backpack. She was last seen approximately at 3:50 a.m. in Southeast Odessa. Foul play is suspected. I will tell you on her case, law enforcement is very diligent on her case, and they do. I was told that I could release it. However, I'm going to wait to release the information of an individual until I know for sure law enforcement is okay with it. But they do definitely have some really good leads in her case. And if somebody out there knows something, because eventually, people will talk. Hopefully they can get Becca found and get some justice for her family. I am not saying that she is deceased. I want everybody to make sure that is very, very clear. I am not saying that Rebecca is deceased at all. I am saying that law enforcement needs to locate her. However, they do have, they've really done really good work and have pieced a lot of stuff together in her case. But again, I want to let everybody know I'm not saying that she is deceased. I know some people will take that as that's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But I believe that there's people out there that know where Rebecca is. And her family really wants her to come home. And with a lot of cases, that's all the family wants. They just want to know where their loved one is. So in Rebecca's case, that is the most update I can give you guys until I have law enforcement to clear me otherwise with some of the other information that's came my way. um, about certain individuals. So I will let you guys know if that's possible. But again, I will not release information without clearance from law enforcement. But I will tell you that law enforcement has worked hard on her case. So if anybody out there has any information, please contact law enforcement. This next case I have shared before. I did update Skylar Terry Alexander Russell Burden's flyer. He is missing out of Portland, Oregon on October 6, 2017. He was 23 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 29. 5'8" to 5'10", 135 to 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have several tattoos, as you can see. The player across his chest, a tiny man holding a ratchet on his upper right arm. I believe that it is, I can't think of that group, Insane Posse. I believe it is their man holding the ratchet is that actual tattoo. Across on his bicep, You're on the top of one hand and Truly on the top of his other hand. He last spoke to his family on October 6th of 2017 and said he was wanting to go to Seattle, Washington. It is unknown if he ever made it there. He usually travels by foot or hitchhikes, normally doesn't carry his identification with him. He is known to frequent missions and churches to get food or shelter. If you have any information regarding Skylar's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call Eugene, Oregon's Police Department at 541-682-5111. And the last case that I have for you guys tonight is Zachary Kyle Basil. He is missing out of Cushing, Oklahoma on October 23rd, 2023. He is 26 years old, 5'8", 140 pounds, red auburn hair and green eyes. He does have a deer tattoo on his chest and the 3-leaf clover on his left arm that you can see in that picture. He was last seen at Dollar General in Cushing, Oklahoma on October 23rd, 2023. Dropped off by a brown or gold car outside. He had checked in with his family as he did on a regular basis. Afterwards, he was seen being dropped off at the Maverick Mini Mart, where he was seen walking southbound. He does live a transient lifestyle and doesn't have a permanent address. This was the last time he was seen or heard from again. He doesn't have a phone and normally would borrow phones to contact his loved ones. He may be wearing brown coveralls. If you have any information regarding Zachary's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Cushing, Oklahoma Police Department at 918-225-1212. One more thing that I would like to bring up, because this has been very active on other platforms and everything. I haven't really had anybody say anything on mine, but one thing that everybody needs to know as an advocate, and a lot of the good advocates that are out there, we are not going to take down a flyer until we know that law enforcement has confirmed that that individual has been found and they're taken out of a database. One of the reasons is people will say that they're found. Especially juveniles will make up a platform and say, oh, they're home with their mom, or I'm home, I was never missing, that sort of thing. We will always redirect anybody that comes to us and says, you know, hey, they're home, they're back home with their parents, which is great news. But always make sure that if you have a missing loved one, they do come home or you have contact with them, please contact law enforcement, because law enforcement is the only one to clear and close out a missing persons case. There have been several people that have been very negative and very aggressive towards some advocates because they didn't take down flyers when they are still actively in the database, which I get. You know, sometimes the databases don't get updated quickly, but even with them contacting law enforcement, the person was still missing. So, and then there's cases of people that are found and then they go missing again. Just be kind to the advocates that are out there and the people that have platforms. We're doing the best we can. I know there's some platforms that have, you know, multiple people helping them on the platforms. And then there's platforms that there's like 1 or 2 individuals. We do try to update stuff as quickly as we can, because we are also trying to quickly get out information on cases as well. So if you know someone's located, please let us know that they've been located. so we could go out there and check. However, attacking individuals and advocates, saying that they should take it down because you said that they've been located, is not the way that a lot of the advocates are working. Um, and I don't work like that. I want to make sure that it's cleared by law enforcement. That is the biggest thing. We are not law enforcement, and law enforcement handles the cases. And once they clear it, a lot of times I'll call law enforcement, ask them if the case has been, closed and maybe just isn't updated yet. Um, that is what we do. That is how we do it. That's how law enforcement likes us to do it. At least all the law enforcement I've ever worked with, they want to make sure that, we don't take stuff down until an individual is found. So please, again, just be respectful. There's a lot of advocates out here that are we're not making money, which is fine. I care less about money. That's me personally. Um, and a lot of people are volunteering their time doing this. People have full-time jobs, they have families, and we're trying to just help as much as we possibly can, get information and out there. So again, just please be kind. The missing persons world is hard enough, especially for the families. Again, I cannot say enough about the families that I've met, the families that I have contact with. You guys are such wonderful people. And, if I could locate every missing person along with all the advocates and we could just never have another missing person, that would be the greatest gift. I pray for you guys every night, and for the other advocates out there. Just know that the biggest thing is you guys are not alone. There's a lot of people out here that are here to help you. There's a lot of advocates out there that have had missing loved ones. Some have missing loved ones still. But, the one thing about the families is you guys still share. You guys are like a community. And, I can't say enough of how other families of the missing support other families of the missing, and they share. The biggest thing I would like to see in 2024 is more flyers shared. I would like to see them shared. If you look at it, just share it. Every day there's new stuff out there. If you guys could share, again, like I tell people, I don't expect you to share 20, 30, however many posts a day. I get that. But if you could share one or two, we never know who out there may have some information. You are welcome, Allison, and thank you for all that you do. Allison runs the Daily Missing Persons Alerts site. I also am an admin for that group, which has a group in all 50 states. Also, there's 2 other ones. There's also Puerto Rico. I don't know if we still have Canada. Anyways, there's a lot of places. So Allison is a great resource for you guys to get information. She does TikTok. She started a Guardian TikTok. I think there's 5 TikToks. Allison, you might have to correct me. So we are out on TikTok. I will tell you, I do not know a lot about TikTok. I kind of let Allison, she does really good with social media. So definitely, you guys, if you have flyers, go out, join Daily Missings alerts nationwide, or you could join the individual states groups out there. It's just another really great resource. I will tell you that all of the Guardian flyers that I do go out on the Missing Persons Alert United States. I post them. So does Allison, but I try to, when I do a flyer, get them out there. I also put them in the individual states that they went missing from. And if there's states that they could possibly be going to, I get them out there like there. I do it on the nationwide page as well. And then Allison will take it and share everywhere. Saoirse is another really good advocate. She does admin for some of the groups for the Daily Missing Persons Alert on top of her own pages that she does. And there are a couple other admins that we are working on to help get more information out there. So, again, you guys, really good platforms out there. Sky Alerts is a great platform to be sharing on. That's a really, really great group. They do really great flyers as well. Kansas Missing and Unsolved, Kansas Missing. Um, they do very, very good. Missouri Missing is very good. Ricky Chabuki is very, very good. Um, Sharon Parker, I don't know if she's on tonight. She's usually on. She is a really, really good advocate as well. She shares all over as well. So just know if your loved one's case comes across, some of us advocates, we do have a system where we tag each other and get stuff shared. Hi, Sharon. Sharon is on here. And Sharon, if you want to put in comments some of those other really good groups, I know I'm missing a lot. But just know that we do network, we do talk. Pretty much a lot of us advocates talk on a daily basis, and we try to get stuff out there for you guys as well. Pamela, you are, thank you. I appreciate that. Hi, Carol. How are you? And you are most welcome. Hi, Sherry. How are you doing? So just know that you guys are not alone out there. I will be doing another FBI cases this week. Also, I am going to try to sneak in the unidentified. I am going to start out with the FBI's unidentified cases first. That will only be streaming on my unidentified page. And the reason why I'm doing that is just because of the graphic nature that could be on there. So if you guys have not joined that group, please go out and join it. Like I said, there are pictures out there that are really extremely hard to look at, but it has helped get a lot of people identified and stuff like that. I will let you guys know on the Guardian Voice of the Missing pages when I do the unidentified as well. I don't know if you guys have certain times that you guys like or whatever. So I am going to try to do some more podcasts and get them out there. It seemed like everybody did like the FBI cases that I did share. Once I get through them, I will probably try to do more than one weekly podcast. Or I might start just doing certain state podcasts. I haven't really kind of decided what I'm going to do yet, but I'm just trying to get out as many cases as I possibly can. But I also really want to get out more cases for the unidentified. Again, there's some really good groups for unidentified. Genetics Uncovered does a really great job. Who Am I? There's a Florida Missing and an unidentified page. Those are all really good ones. So Sharon has put in the comments, the Toby Anderson Foundation Homicide and Missing Cold Case Network is really good. Missing Struggle, you're most welcome for Sky Alerts. I've liked Sky Alerts. I've liked Sky Alerts ever since I came across them. They do really good missing persons and stuff, and great individuals that are running that as well. So again, there's lots of places for you guys to share. And get that out there. There's a lot of good resources out there. I will continue trying to build the resource page. Like I said, go out there, look in the album. All of the flyers are out in albums by their state that they went missing from. The FBI has its own. And then I have a resource page out there. I'm working on the statutes to get all the statutes of all the state statutes out there where people can go out and get that information to look at their state statutes. I will tell you, I don't know how many people have went out and read a state statute, but they're not really fun to read. But mostly I really want, I'm going to try to highlight the parts that are probably going to be the most beneficial to you guys on if you're struggling to get a missing persons report. Again, I cannot stress enough. I still continue to see people putting out their personal information out there. Please don't do that. It is not really safe to be doing that. Definitely put out the law enforcement agency. Oracle Mama. Oracle Mama, for what I understand, I am on her page as well. She is a TikToker, I believe. So you could also find her out on TikTok. And she does a great deal, like Sharon said, with the Skylar. So go out and look for her out on Facebook, because she's now on Facebook, but she's also out on TikTok. So please go out and, check out her page and everything, join her page. Because like I said, she just recently came over to Facebook. Any of these other pages, I do encourage you to go out and join those pages. Like I said, these are individuals that I do believe are great advocates. These are individuals that I am, working together with, networking with, however you want to say it. So I try to steer you guys towards ones that I believe will help you. Again, there's probably tons out there that I don't know anything about. But, if there's a good organization out there, please let me know. I could already belong to it. I can't even tell you how many pages I belong to. But I do want to tell you guys, thank you very much for joining. I know we had a lot of cases tonight. A lot of these cases don't have a lot of information. So if you do know some information, please let me know. I will keep updating as well. And I hope that you guys all have a good night. If there's anything that you guys need, please feel free to reach out to me, and we will see what we can do. I do have a lady, I think last podcast had mentioned about her missing loved one. I am going to try to do a flyer out there for them as well. I just saw it today. I'm not always good about seeing everything because Facebook is never friendly. But I hope you guys all have a great evening. You're welcome, Sharon. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Feel free to share the podcast. You guys can continue to comment on the podcast. If there's something come up or you think that there's a case that you would like me to do, please let me know. I hope you guys all have a blessed evening and the rest of your week. I will post when I do the FBI. I might do it in the morning again on Friday, maybe Thursday morning. I haven't decided yet. I'm working on it right now, but I will let you guys know when I do the unidentified podcast as well. I did get a lot of response that they thought that would be great to do the unidentified podcast. And like I said, the FBI one, a lot of people liked. So I will continue to do those for you guys. There's a lot of cases. I will tell you on the FBI, I noticed they had added 2 more cases recently. So I will be covering them with this next podcast. So I'm going to try to keep up with if they post a recent case out there. So I hope you guys have a great night and you guys are safe. And if there's anything I can do or any of the other advocates can do, please let us know. Have a great night. God bless.